What are you doing? Get off the...
Good morning, America. Drew Hernandez here. Hopefully your favorite podcast host, man on the street host, or on the ground reporter. Like I said, I do all three. I know a lot of people have been, commenting. I even get messages like, oh, you're switching your content. It's getting boring, blah, 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 blah. Well, I put out kind of a little PSA the other day is I do all three, right? I do the on the ground reporting, I do the podcast footage, and I do the man on the street stuff. So you guys get the best of all three worlds with me. So my son is here. He's awake. He's actually an early bird. So he likes waking up and hanging out. So my wife, on the other hand, is different. So here we are this morning, guys. If you guys are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Make sure to smash the like button. I know you guys are all tired. I know I'm a little bit tired. But this is how this is going to work. Because I do on-the-ground reporting, sometimes I'll do reporting till like maybe 3 in the morning. It depends where I am in the country. And you guys see me posting real-time clips on Twitter. Because I love you guys and you guys are the Real News Gang, I will be giving you guys the first hand look and briefing the morning after. So if you ever see me reporting, this is how this is going to go. Reporting on Twitter, all the viral clips, and the next morning, Drew Hernandez will take to YouTube to break it all down for you. Even if I get no sleep, this is what I do. This is my career. This is my life. So I want to bring it to you guys first. So make sure to destroy the like button, like this video, share this video, show me where you are tuning in from this morning in the comment section. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And like every single podcast, these are special podcast briefings that I will be giving to you guys after every single event that I ever cover, right? As long as I'm not thrown in jail or arrested again, right? I'll be doing my best to make sure that I'm updating you guys constantly. Because if I'm reporting on a Friday night, I don't want to wait all the way until Monday to brief you with what happened, because things can change. But you guys are getting the exclusive, so make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to let YouTube know that you like me. And like every single podcast, I will be taking questions at the end. If you guys would like to leave a super chat, this supports my efforts as I do this on the ground reporting. This stuff isn't easy. I'm not your average reporter. I am an investigative reporter, so my career is a little more intense than the average reporter. So thank you guys, but let's get into this. What is going on in San Bernardino, California? My goodness. For those of you that are just tuning in, this video, I will play it for you guys one last time if you guys are just tuning in. This video is going viral. A black man was shot. A lot of the protesters and demonstrators yesterday in San Bernardino were saying that he was a good man. He did good things. The problem is he did a dumb thing and a stupid thing that got himself shot. So I'm going to play you the video that went viral yesterday and sparked a protest last night in San Bernardino. For those of you that are just tuning in, I will play this for you one last time. This is the video that is causing all kinds of controversy online.
Stop fighting, dude. What are you doing? Get off the...
So what happened? You see right there that this man is in a scuffle with a police officer. He's in a scuffle. He's resisting arrest. You could hear the police officer telling him not to. But you see very closely that the man actually reaches on his right when he has his back towards the officer. He reaches, which turned out to be a handgun. It turned out to be a firearm that what this man had on him. Now, I'm going to show you guys some footage from the protesters that were actually saying that whether the man had a gun or not, it doesn't matter. He shouldn't have been shot. And he's supposed to follow some kind of protocol. I don't know what protocol these people expect a police officer to follow when you have a drunken man, regardless if he's white or black. The guy's drunk. He has a firearm on him. He's been jumping on cars. Let's get into the context. How did this start? Because when you watch this, you're like, they're just wrestling, they're scuffling. I mean, the officer does identify that the man is reaching for something. Things are high. Times are high right now. Tensions are high. Police officers do not want to end up being a viral video where they are the ones getting slaughtered by some kind of criminal that was reaching for a weapon. What would you do? So let's take a look at the context. What happened? San Bernardino Police Department released pretty much everything at this point. They released body cam footage. Their investigation, I'm not sure, is absolutely complete, but they've released press statements that we're going to take a look at today here at the Lives Matter official podcast, especially when I'm giving my on-the-ground reports. I will start you guys with context. I will not just bring you into a situation without giving you the backstory. So let's take a look at this. There was a 911 call, that was made. Now, I don't want to make any assumptions, but the woman on the call sounds very concerned. Listen to the call for yourself. I'll break down the call after you guys listen to it, but essentially the 911 call that came in, this is King Tut's liquor store off of Baseline and Waterman here in Southern California in San Bernardino. Basically, the call is her saying there's a drunk man that's been drinking. He has a handgun. He's waving it around, jumping on top of cars. That's the man you saw in a scuffle with this police officer that the police officer shot. So this is the 911 call that started this whole thing. Take a look. Make sure your audio is on.
911 emergency, open number 3.
Yes, really funny because I was there at King Tut there, and there's a man who's really drunk and he's waving around the gun up there.
Okay, I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well. This is at King Tut?
Yes, and he has a gun, he's waving around.
Okay, King Tut, which one, Baseline or Highland?
Baseline.
Baseline, okay, you said somebody has a gun?
Yeah, there's a man, he's real drunk up there, he's jumping on top of cars, he has a gun, and he's just going crazy.
Okay, is he black, white, or Hispanic?
Black.
Color shirt or jacket is he wearing?
He has a white t-shirt on.
And what color pants?
I think some black shorts.
Black shorts. He looks like he's been drinking?
Yeah, he has been drinking.
Okay. And he's been jumping on people's cars?
Yeah.
Where's he at right now?
King Tut parking lot.
Okay, so he's still in the parking lot right now?
Uh-huh.
Sorry about that. So that was the 911 call. So clearly somebody called 911 because this individual, she even gives the description of his skin color, ethnicity, he's black. The reason why the police officers or the 911 operator asks these questions is because when you get such a serious 911 call like this, they need to give this intel to the police officer so he knows what he's getting himself into. He knows who to look for. Because when someone calls 911 and is like, hey, there's a dude out here that's drunk, he's been drinking, and he's waving a gun around, jumping on top of cars, they need to know who to look for. They ask for his clothing. They need to know who to identify when the police officer shows up. So this is what led to the police officer showing up to the scene. So here's the body cam footage that San Bernardino Police Department released last night. This is the officer's body cam footage. Take a look.
Hey, yo, man, come here. Come here.
Oh, you got a gun on?
Come here. Let me see your hands.
I got my
Let me see your hands.
Oh, what are you
Let me see your hands.
Man, I'm going to the store. Come here. Don't touch me. Don't touch me. What are you doing touching me? What the fuck?
Get on the ground. Stop moving.
What the fuck?
Stop fighting.
Stop fighting. What are you doing? Stop fighting. Stop fighting, dude. What are you doing? Get off of me. Shots fired. Shots fired.
So now that you guys have context, because even watching that, if you watch that video with zero context, you're like, why did the police officer just pull out a handgun on the guy? Like immediately. See, Black Lives Matter will take a look at that clip and be like, police brutality. He pulled out a gun because he was black. No, he pulled out a gun because there was a 911 call that was claiming that the guy was armed and drunk, jumping on top of cars in front of King Tut's liquor store in San Bernardino, California. So now that you have context, let's take a look at this video one more time.
Stop fighting, dude. What are you doing? Get off of me.
So, Black Lives Matter and all these leftists will take these video clips and they take to Twitter and they start to stage organized protests, riots, without even understanding the full context. So I know sometimes it can be a little excruciating. It's a little time consuming because I'm showing you guys all this information and you're like, hurry it up, hurry it up. Well, at least be blessed that I'm someone that takes the time, unlike other news organizations, to actually provide you context so you can understand what the hell is going on. Because if you take a look at any one of those videos without even listening to the 911 call, you're like, how did it get to this point? How did it get so escalated so quickly? But even then, the guy does reach for a weapon, and it turns out San Bernardino Police Department, after doing their investigation, there are photos. The guy was armed with a handgun, a loaded handgun. So the guy was reaching for a weapon. The officer noticed that this happens within seconds. You guys see how quick that video clip was? Within seconds. This officer has seconds to, man, that's like a blessing from God, to be able to identify while you're in a scuffle, while you're wrestling with someone that's drunk, that has been reported to be potentially armed. You don't know. And the guy's resisting arrest. He's wrestling you, and the officer has literally seconds to see that he's reaching and to decide, do I pull out my gun and take this guy down, or do I wait to see if he's going to take me down first? What would you do? Because Black Lives Matter is claiming they want social workers, they want peace police in order to handle these kinds of situations. This is the kind of situation that a social worker would have to handle without a loaded firearm to protect themselves. What would happen in a situation like this is that that individual would turn around and shoot them in the face. And you guys remember how Joe Biden was like, oh, if they're in a situation like this, why can't they just, shoot the leg, man? Come on, man. Shoot the leg. Like, what? You have no time. Like, this stuff happens so quickly. I'm not a police officer, but I work for a former police officer. Shout out to Officer Tatum, Brandon Tatum. And he will tell you, you guys have heard him on his channel, this kind of stuff is life or death. Like, you have split seconds to make these kinds of decisions. I don't know what that's like, but I can only imagine what that's like. I would never want to be put in a situation like this because a criminal is breaking the law, drunk out in public, probably with an unregistered firearm, waving it around irresponsibly, and gets 911 called on him. This guy is a potential threat to society, regardless of skin color. So anyways, a protest was scheduled. I want to read you guys the police report before I go any further and I show you guys the protest footage. The title of this video is very provocative, not because I want to, gain clicks, but because this is literally what happened at the protest. But before we go on, I have to give the police department their due justice and show honor to where honor is due. So I'm going to read you guys the report, the press release that San Bernardino Police Department put out on their own Twitter. And the report says this is the latest update that they gave us. Upon reviewing the recordings of the involved officer's body-worn camera video, we were able to display the following images. These images depict what our uniformed officer encountered. Just before the incident occurred, these images can be graphic, therefore viewer discretion is advised. The uniformed officer responds to the convenience store, which was King Tut's liquor store, alone after the radio call was announced. He approached the suspect who matched the description, which was the 911 call that I showed you guys, of a black male adult wearing a white t-shirt and black shorts. The caller reported that the suspect had been armed and was jumping on cars. Turns out that the guy was armed with a handgun. The responding officer identified himself and ordered the suspect to show his hands. The suspect clearly ignored the officer and walked away from him, saying he was going to the store. The officer noticed several patrons and employees inside the convenience store and attempted to detain the suspect before he entered to prevent him from harming anyone inside. The considerably larger suspect was uncooperative and difficult for the officer to subdue. The officer wrapped his arms around the suspect and took him to the ground, but the suspect was strong enough to begin getting up. You guys all saw this, even with the officer's weight on him. The suspect reached under his t-shirt and pulled a black handgun from his front right pocket. The officer noticed the suspect and had a black handgun in his right hand, and he immediately discharged the suspect for his safety. Disengaged the suspect for his safety. The suspect remained uncooperative and was able to gain a standing position before he began turning toward the officer and bystanders with a gun still in his hand. The officer fired 4 rounds from his department-issued duty weapon, striking the suspect multiple times. The suspect's loaded handgun was recovered from the scene. The officer requested medical aid for the suspect. What kind of white supremacist, racist officer does that? The officer requested medical aid for the suspect within seconds of the shooting, and the suspect was transported to a local hospital where he succumbed to his injuries. The investigation is ongoing, and anyone with further information is urged to contact Detective A. Reyna. This is all public information. The phone numbers are all there and the website. Let me see if I could find an image for you guys. It should be of the recovered handgun. Let me see. Right here. There it is. This is the recovered handgun that this individual had on himself. And see, this is why this stuff is dangerous. That's not him. Let me see. Yeah, I believe that was it. Or it's in one of these somewhere. Let me see. Yeah, the individual's name was Mark Matthew Bender Jr., 35 years old. This was the guy that was armed with a handgun. Ah, there it is right there. So there, you can see here in the photo, he was pulling out a black object right here. This is what the officer sees. And this is the handgun that was recovered on the scene. So this man was armed. And in this officer's mind, that means that he could get killed. So an officer is not going to take that chance. Would you? Would some kind of social worker just sit there while this man is drunk? 911 call comes in. This guy is jumping on top of cars with a loaded handgun. Someone was scared. Some citizen thought that their life was in danger, so that's why they did what? They called 911. So a police officer responds to protect the people in the vicinity, in the community, and this guy fits the description perfectly, resists arrest, scuffles with the officer, overpowers the officer with his weight to the point where he starts to stand up, reach for a firearm on his right side. The officer sees this. The officer responds with deadly force because that's what you are trained to do in order to protect not only yourself, but the people around the vicinity, in the community, and even in the liquor store. We don't know who the hell this guy is. Some of the protesters were saying that he was a good guy and he helped me do this and he helped me do that. He probably did. But this night, he made a very stupid decision that got himself killed. So you have to be responsible for your own foolish actions. This was not an act of police brutality. Clearly, in context, the evidence is there. This was not an act of racism. This man was not killed because of his skin color. This man was not racially profiled. This man was doing something stupid, and he wrestled with a police officer, pulled out his weapon, and got himself shot and killed. That's what happened. So, a protest was scheduled. I know this is what you guys want to see. I just got to give you guys some context. So, a protest was scheduled. I obviously showed up last night because they were demanding body cam footage. Oh, they want the investigation. They want the full facts. So, Black Lives Matter protesters, anti-police protesters, abolish the police protesters showed up. This was in front. This entire event happened in front of King Tut Liquor Store off of Waterman and Baseline in Southern California, San Bernardino. So protesters showed up right in front of the liquor store last night. And this is what the scene looked like. So take a look.
Our street! No, our street! No, fuck that! Our street! No, fuck that! What did he do? What did he do? What did he do? No racist! Police! What did he do? No peace! No racist! Police! No justice! No peace! No racist! Police! No justice! No peace! No racist! Police! Our street! 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 Our street!
So that's the beginnings, okay? And like always, when this stuff begins, there's always crazy people that show up and it's unpredictable, and that's what happens. It's extremely unpredictable, and no one knows just exactly what's going to go on. But eventually, things do get a little crazy. And that's what happened this night. And so this is what I'm going to show you guys tonight. Oh, excuse me. We'll get to that clip. So eventually, things got a little crazy, right? And they started, like always, chanting, abolish the police. Here's a clip. And like always, these people show up without the facts. They show up without any information. They just want to show up and chant abolish the police because they think everything is racist. They think everything is white supremacist. They don't take the time to look into what I showed you this morning. So there's always some kind of characters that show up. Immediately a pretty significant little gathering showed up right in front of King Tut Liquor Store. And as the night went on, of course, the chants come, F the police. Ironically, Ice Cube is getting canceled and they're listening to F the police and chanting F the police, which involves Ice Cube. So it's just the mindlessness is always at the forefront of these events. So the protesters show up. They start chanting abolish the police. They all have their own little SJW chants and their own SJW little speeches. And one of them, this particular night, was actually an individual that was claiming, and I'm going to show you, he was claiming that whether this man had a gun or not, the officer is supposed to follow some kind of protocol. What protocol? I have no idea. Take a look.
4 times in his back. He was supposed to call for backup. He was supposed to have somebody backing him up. He wasn't supposed to be out here wrestling a 300-pound mare.
Thank you! Protect the sir. In the name of Jesus!
He was supposed to go follow a certain protocol.
Goddamn right.
You know what I'm saying?
Now, I have no idea what he's talking about. Like, what protocol does an officer follow when you receive a 911 call and the 911 call is that this man is dangerous and he's armed? He could potentially kill someone. And not only that, he's drunk and he's jumping on top of cars, potentially vandalizing people's personal property. What protocol are you supposed to follow when you show up and there's an unpredictable drunk armed suspect that's been vandalizing? And what protocol are you supposed to follow when this guy's resisting arrest and he's armed? That's the 911 call. And he's overpowering you, and then you see him reach for his weapon. Whether he has a gun or not, you follow protocol? What the hell are you talking about? What protocol? Wait to see if you actually get shot and killed and end up on headline news being praised by Black Lives Matter? Like, what are you, not praised, but celebrated for getting shot? Like, what protocol are these people talking about? If a social worker is in this position, what are you supposed to do? Just sit around and wait to get shot? De-escalate a drunken armed man? Unbelievable. I'm sorry. Don't commit crime, period. Don't even get this situation going. You shouldn't have to de-escalate a situation where a grown-ass man is drunk publicly with a firearm, jumping up and down on cars, putting people's lives in danger. That shouldn't even be happening at all. You shouldn't have to de-escalate that. The guy should be grown enough to be able to be mature enough to not do stupid, foolish things like that. Otherwise, it ends like this. So we had another individual last night that was claiming that white people are scared of his skin color. Take a look.
4 times in his back.
Blacks and browns are in fucking danger every single day. As a dark brown native man, I can't walk down the fucking street to a white neighborhood. This is the weapon when the white people see. This is what the fuck they fear. Every day. But fuck that.
You see, this is what I just don't understand. The guy claims that he can't walk down the street in like a white neighborhood, that he's scared. I'm brown. Yes, I've dealt with racism, but I'm not scared to go outside of my house and walk in a white neighborhood. Like, I don't have any other different of a privilege. Like, these people claim like they're being hunted, like police officers are hunting brown people or hunting black people. Are white people really scared of brown people? Like, are white people really afraid of black people? If the answer is yes, you want to know why? It's because of radical Marxist, insane, deranged organizations like Black Lives Matter that are racist as hell towards white people and actually physically assault them for no reason at all. So if white people are scared of minorities right now, it's because minorities are giving them a reason to be scared at this point. So I kind of disagree with the guy, but then I kind of do agree with the guy because I'm like, you guys, if white people are scared of blacks and browns, it's because of organizations like Black Lives Matter. If anything, white people are looking over their shoulder now because these people have become so violent and they're giving people reasons to be afraid of them. It's not because you are brown and they're just afraid of you. It's because you give people reasons to be afraid of you. If you are white and you wear a Trump hat and you go walk through a black neighborhood, you will be afraid, guaranteed. Because these people are racist, not all, but the majority that side with Black Lives Matter. If you walk through a neighborhood that totally sides with Black Lives Matter and you are white and you walk through a black neighborhood that is all BLM'd out, you will be very scared. Trust me. But that's not what he's talking about. He's just saying that white people are scared of his skin color because they're just that color. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Who? And he says he can't go into a white neighborhood and walk around. No, that's not happening in America. Anyways, I'm going to show you guys another clip. This individual was saying that the KKK, this guy's claiming that police officers, that police in San Bernardino are coming from white suburbs and coming from KKK enclaves. This is what these people believe. Take a look.
Let's be totally clear. The police are not our community. They are not of this community. They come from out of this community and they come here. They come from the suburbs. They come from the rich areas. They come from Kuiper. They come from all these fucking KKK enclaves. They're not here. They're not here. They're not part of our community. They come here to police us. They're not from here. We are from here.
Yes.
We're the ones here struggling.
Preach,
We're the ones
baby.
here going to
Preach.
keep each other here. Getting our chips and getting our beer. We are from here. The police are not from here. When we talk about police accountability, we're talking about people that are from outside. They are not us. It is literally them against us. They are not from us. They are not for us. This is us.
Now, I would love, listen, hear me out. I would love to see a single shred of evidence that proves what this guy was saying last night. If there are police officers that are coming from KKK enclaves, I want to know about it because I will be the first one to jump on this podcast and expose it and condemn the hell out of it. I will be show me a single shred of evidence that police officers that are policing in San Bernardino are affiliated, apart, or coming from KKK enclaves, territory. Show me a single shred of evidence that that is true. And notice how tribalized these people make it. They make it tribalized. Did you hear him at the end? What did he say? They're not a part of us. They're not a part of us. This is them against us. Sounds like a race war, especially when you're saying things like these police officers are coming from KKK enclaves and you have no evidence to prove so. Zero evidence. What about the black police officers? When I was driving through San Bernardino yesterday, black police officers patrolling, chilling. Are those guys coming from KKK enclaves? What are they, Dave Chappelle? Are black police officers patrolling in San Bernardino blind like Dave Chappelle? And they're part of the KKK. They don't realize it because they're like, come on, dude. Like, that's what it would have to take, especially in 2020, for an officer to be a part of the KKK and be policing San Bernardino as a racist against black people. I mean, you have to ask these questions. What about Hispanic police officers? What about Asian police officers? What about police officers of color in San Bernardino that exist? Are they coming from KKK enclaves? Even the white ones. Show me evidence. Show me. Like, I want to see it. I want to know it, but it doesn't exist. It's all emotionally charged rhetoric. That's all this is. All they do is get people riled up with this hyperbolic, this extremely emotionalized, sensationalized rhetoric that gets people to actually believe it. They get riled up and they start to do crazy crap. That's what Black Lives Matter is and does. Guys like this with their crazy ass rhetoric, I'm sorry, but I'm just so sick of this stuff. Officers are coming from KKK enclaves to police San Bernardino? What? Who believes that? I don't know. This is the kind of rhetoric that is going to get us into a race war, especially when he comes out and says it is them against us. Just saying. To make things even more racist, I know you guys hear me say that a lot. I always say, like, these people are super racist. They say racist stuff when I'm reporting. Well, here you go. I don't know if this guy is virtue signaling. I don't know if he's Hispanic. I don't know if he's white. It doesn't matter. These people get away with saying racist things. The C word to a white person is pretty racist. And this guy pretty much calls white cops crackers. Check it out.
What I can do is tear down the system that lifts up crackers with badges and gives them the power to be judge, jury, executioner of that motherfucking court right there. That's what I can do. That's what I can do. I can yell about that shit. I can yell about that shit.
Right, baby.
We can't defund everything else. We can't abolish everything else. We can't defund the police. Defund the police.
Fuck the police.
We can't disarm the police. Disarm the police. We can't abolish the police. Because we don't need those motherfuckers.
At all.
We don't need them.
We don't.
We don't need them.
At all.
And that's what I'm talking about. When I tell you guys, I know you guys hear me say this on the podcast all the time. When I tell you guys that these people are racist and they get away with saying racist things and they get away with racist actions, I'm going to show you guys that I can't make, like, I'm not good. Like, I can do some Photoshop, but I can't CGI these videos. Like, this stuff is real. Okay. Like, this is who these people are. And this is why they come after people like me. And they want to silence media. They want to silence me and Elijah Schaefer and Kaylin with Scriber and Savannah and all these people that are on the ground, Katie in Seattle. This is why they want to shut us down, because we show the public who they really are. If they had nothing to hide, they wouldn't want to shut us down. These people are racist. Racist. Just because he's white, I don't know, or if he's Hispanic, doesn't mean you get away with saying racist rhetoric. Because if it's flipped, it's headline news. But because they're on the side of social justice and they virtue signal, they're the ones fighting against racism, they get a pass to be racist and make racist comments, calling white police officers crackers with badges. And they're very clear. I tell you guys all the time, they are racist and they want to abolish the police. You heard him say, disarm the police. Where does that lead us? Policing our own communities? How's that going to work out? Especially in the black community and Hispanic community, we're ripping ourselves to shreds. Black on black crime has been skyrocketing, especially even during the Obama administration when the first black president was in office. I think in 2013, there was like 2,500 black people that were murdered in the United States, and 2,200 black people were the ones responsible for murdering those black people. Black on black crime is insane. Insanely high. The community needs to take accountability. The community really does need to fix itself. It really does. I'll be honest with you. Yes, and Hispanics, they're right behind them. Blacks and Hispanics rip each other apart more than any other communities. They're the ones that are constantly fighting against each other. They're the ones that are constantly ripping themselves to shreds. You hear it in the music. You see it in the movies. You see it all over the place. Come on, this ain't no secret. What am I saying? So you expect the black community to police itself? Look how high gangs are in the black community. Look at the death rate in Chicago. Look at the cartels. Look at Mexicans in Mexico ripping themselves to shreds. Their own people. Mexicans are more violent with cartels and corrupt government in Mexico than Americans are towards Mexicans. Fact. The Border Patrol is way more welcoming than the insane Mexican government and cartels that destroy their own people. Mexicans are more violent against their own people than United States Border Patrol American citizens are towards Mexicans. That is a literal fact. What am I saying? What I'm saying is minority communities do a piss poor job of policing themselves with no law and order, and these people call for abolishing and disarming the police because they want to police their own communities. And they can't even get over gangs. This is why mothers are crying in the street. Young black mothers, old black grandmothers, young Hispanic mothers, old Hispanic grandmothers, always crying, always on TV, bawling their eyes out because black on black crime, brown on brown crime, gang violence in all of these ghetto communities. This is a fact. Don't get all triggered because I'm telling you things that are true. And we expect our communities to police themselves peacefully? I'm not saying we need white people. I'm saying we do need a systematic law and order police system that is accompanied with laws and a judicial system that backs it up. What these people want is they want to remove all of it. They want to remove the judicial system. They want to remove laws. They want to remove order. And they just want to police themselves the way that they want to live. It's dangerous. Abolishing the police isn't just the police departments. It's the entire system. This is why they want to abolish the system. Our entire judicial system, whether it's local, federal, the entire thing they want gone. I'm not saying we need white people. I'm not saying we need black people. I'm not saying what we need smart, peaceful people. Whether you're white, whether you're brown, whether you're black, we need people that are based and have a moral code and understand law and order. Those people need to be at the forefront. I don't know. Call me racist. Whatever. If that's what you think, but I'm not. I'm just giving you facts. I'm giving you facts. The black and brown communities rip themselves to shreds, especially in blue ghetto areas, low-income areas. And we expect those communities to police themselves peacefully? That's going to turn into Mexico, where the cartels rule everything. And look how that's going. You end up shredded in a body bag dumped somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. That's how they police their own communities. You want to take a look at an example of what it's like when these crazy communities police themselves? Take a look at Mexico. Look at their government. Look how corrupt it is. Look how the cartels run everything. Everything. Because they let the communities, which are violent, whoever has the most money is going to be in power. And who is that? The gangs, the cartels, the communities. They're the ones that suffer. Just saying. Law and order is removed. You guys might want to police yourselves, but law and order will be removed, and you guys will be screwed. If you want to go see what that's like, go move to freaking Juarez or Tijuana, literally. All right, so here we go. Here are the juicy parts. So they decided to take to the streets. They shut down an intersection. And if you're from San Bernardino, there are a lot of black people, but there's a lot of Hispanics as well that don't speak English. So you see a lot of them driving through the intersection, not even knowing what the heck is going on. It's very sad. It's very sad. And these people, they come from different communities. And they come and protest and they think they know everything, but they come to these communities and some of these people that are driving by are Hispanics and they don't even know English and they don't even know what's going on. Because you could see it. They're like totally like saying hi, like that. Like if you're Hispanic, you know what I'm talking about. Like when there's people that come from like Mexico, or they don't know the language, and they're in a very awkward situation where someone's talking to them and they don't know what they're saying. They're always very polite, like, hey, hi, hey, thank you. Even if they're doing something wrong, they're like, oh, thank you. That's what you're seeing on the street in San Bernardino. These kids come, they're protesting, getting crazy, shutting down an intersection, and some of these Hispanic, possibly illegal immigrants or legal immigrants, are just maybe doing their jobs, driving home to their families or driving home from work. And this is what I was seeing last night. They're saying, hey, they don't know what's going on, and they're getting their cars keyed and punched in the face. Here is when the protesters stormed the intersection and shut down the intersection. So notice cars were immediately honking, some in approval, some were getting kind of triggered. People were just pissed off. They're trying to get home, especially in San Bernardino, dude. You want to get home as quick as possible. You don't want to be driving, down Waterman and Baseline for too long. It's really dangerous, hard area, man. I mean, people just want to go home, especially on a Friday night. You want to go home. You want to chill with your wife if you've been at work all day, or you want to be with your husband. You want to go see your kids. You want to go back home. And here are a group of people that you don't know who they are. They're shutting down the intersection and they're making it hard for you to get home. Wouldn't you be annoyed with that? That like you're almost home. And then there's like this massive like traffic stop jam. And you're like, just want to go home. But then in this situation, like, oh my God, here we go again with these people. Now they're here in our city. What are they doing out here? Some people are foreigners. They don't even know what's going on. They have no idea what's going on. And if you see the clip, some of the people that stormed the intersection, like they get all riled up. They're like, Black Lives Matter, abolish the police. We don't want justice. When do we want it? We want it now. They're all like hyped up, and they finally get in the intersection and they're just kind of standing there like, what do we do now? What's next? What's next? This is when they start to get crazy because they don't know what to do with themselves. So at the corner of the intersection, I would say the southeast corner of Waterman and Baseline, there was this white, and the reason why I say this, I don't like making things about race. I don't. That's not how I roll. The reason why I do this, and if you guys see me post things like this, I do it because Black Lives Matter has brought us to a point where they claim to be these virtue signaling champions of minorities. So the reason I will point out race with these people is because I'm not going to let them get away with that. I'm not going to let them get away with being these heroes of minorities. I will not let that happen for one quick second. It's not that I'm falling down to their level. It's that I'm exposing you and not letting you get away with being some virtue signaling white person or some virtue signaling black or brown person when you're clearly racist as hell. Makes sense? So there's this white guy on the southeast corner of Waterman and Baseline that is like patrolling the cars. He's got a key out. He's got his key out. He's patrolling the cars. He's making sure which cars are aggressive or which cars honk in disapproval. And then he starts to key them. And like I said, I can't say this for sure, but the ones that got keyed were Hispanics tonight, this night. This Hispanic was driving a Honda Civic, a blue one. He was honking. He was a little agitated. This virtue signaling white Black Lives Matter protester that claims to be a champion of minorities and is inclusive of all people of color keys a Hispanic man's car. Yeah, that's a win for fighting against racism. Check it out. Short clip, but check it out. All right, I played it 4 times. The shorter clips I'll play for you guys multiple times because some people are coming in and in the chat. They haven't seen anything. But this is what this guy was doing all night. He was standing on the corner and he was monitoring who's accepting or who's being aggressive with the protesters, meaning that they're just kind of agitated that they shut down a freaking intersection illegally and people are just trying to get home and you're in the way. So this Hispanic guy got his car keyed by this virtue signaling champion of minorities white BLM protester. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Just because they claim to be fighting against racism, they get a pass to even vandalize minorities' vehicles. Why? Because they're hypocrites and they get a pass and they think that they're so pompous in their virtue signaling that they think that they are so high and mighty because they're fighting against racism that they get to like attack people of color and their vehicles or their private property. And like I said, I don't know. I don't know if that guy spoke English. All I know is that all night, that's all I was seeing. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like people that don't speak English that come from foreign countries, not just Hispanics, even, like from Asian countries, different countries, wherever. It's always that, like, hi, because they don't want confrontation. They don't want to be doing the wrong thing. So they're just very polite saying hi. That's all I was seeing last night. So I can only assume from my experience that that's kind of what was happening. Even then, it's a public road. You do not have the right to shut it down illegally, stopping other citizens from using a public service. Other people are using the road. It's not smart to get in the middle of the street and start keying people's cars, especially people of color, while fighting and claiming to be fighting against racism. It's just comical to me at this point, guys. It's exhausting, but it's comical. So, if you think that I'm full of crap with the headline and title of this podcast, here is the video of a Black Lives Matter protester. Like I said, this is a Hispanic woman. She was driving her Mercedes through the intersection. This intersection was not shut down legally. This intersection was shut down illegally. People are just trying to get home. Black Lives Matter is going ballistic in the middle of the street. And a Black Lives Matter protester walks up because they saw this car as a threat and punches her. Her car window was down. Punches this Hispanic woman straight in the face, and then they begin to key her car as well. I'll play this a few times. It's rather short, just so you guys can see it. Check it out. My question is how is this acceptable? How is it that a movement that claims to be fighting, obviously, for black people against the brutalization of black people, right? How is it that a movement that claims to be fighting for this ends up being the ones that physically assault minorities, punching Hispanic women in the face through their car door window because she's trying to use the public road in order to possibly get home to her family? Who knows? And so what if she's agitated? So what if she's a little annoyed that a bunch of people are shutting down an intersection, blocking her way from getting home? Maybe she needed to get home for an emergency. Maybe she needed to get home to see her babies. Maybe she needed to get... You don't know. But there you are, shutting down an intersection in the name of fighting against the brutalization, in the name of fighting against the brutalization of minorities, black people and brown people, all people. Yet you feel the virtue and you feel like you have some kind of authority to just walk up and punch a Hispanic woman in the face. See, this is what discredits Black Lives Matter. Because if Black Lives Matter was honestly about fighting against police brutality and civil rights for black people and brown people, I would be behind it 100%. But that's not what this is about. Because if that was the case, then why do I have video after video of Black Lives Matter physically assaulting homosexuals, immigrants, Hispanics now? I don't think I've had any footage of Black Lives Matter physically assaulting Hispanics. I know it exists out there, but me personally, in my own career, my own archive, I don't think I've personally caught something like this yet. And here it is. And I'm supposed to sit back and believe. I'm supposed to sit here and say, yeah, you guys have a great and noble and righteous cause that I want to get behind. Especially as a Hispanic person. I'm supposed to support Black Lives Matter when Black Lives Matter punches Hispanic women in the face. And Donald Trump is the one that is organizing patriots to physically assault Hispanics and people of color. It's very clear who are the ones that are doing that now, and it's Black Lives Matter. How is this acceptable? How is this movement getting away, masquerading as social justice warriors in the 21st century in 2020? The new civil rights movement for all black people and all brown people and people that are minorities. How are these people getting away with this? Why are we letting these people? Our communities should be the ones to hold these people accountable. This is why I'm so aggressive against it. Because as a Hispanic person, as a person of color, I am going to hold my own communities accountable. So when they do crap like this, I call it out. I'm honest about it. I don't let it go. Because I'm not going to let you guys be and claim to be this virtue signaling organization that gets away with beating people of color on film in the name of fighting against social injustice against people of color. You don't get that pass. You don't get a pass to be racist because you're brown. You don't get a pass to be racist because you're black. No. You don't get a pass to physically assault people of color because you claim to be fighting for people of color. That is an abusive relationship. That is an abuser. Especially if you've ever been in an abusive relationship. You've had an abusive boyfriend or husband, even wife in some cases. I know some men. Or girlfriend. You are only for me. And I love you, but I'm the only one that will fight for you. I'm the only one that will support you. I'm the only one that will ever love you and be on your side. But I am still the only one that can physically punch you in the damn face. Nobody else. Because I love you. You know how twisted that is? That's Black Lives Matter to the black community and the Hispanic community. I'm the only one that will fight for you. I'm fighting for social justice. I'm fighting for righteousness. I'm the one fighting for the black communities. I'm the one that will do this for you. But I am also the one that if I feel like it and I disagree with you, I am the only one that can punch you in the face because I'm the one that loves you. That is Black Lives Matter. They are an abusive organization. Psychologically, they abuse minorities to believe that they're the only ones that fight for them, but these are the same ones that turn around and punch Hispanic women in the face. So much for minorities being treated well in America. So much for women being treated respectfully in America, because Black Lives Matter feels like, and there it is on record, like they have the right to walk up to a Hispanic woman's car and punch her right in the damn face and proceed to key her car because she was getting a little agitated because Black Lives Matter protesters were shutting down a public intersection. The lady probably just wanted to go home. And there they are. Alrighty, guys, that's my report. I'm not done yet. I'll take some super chats. I'm sorry for some of the technical difficulties. For some reason, OBS is acting up today. I will be updating from OBS very soon. But hey, apologize. At least you guys get the gist of it, right? Alrighty, I'll take some super chats before I head out. I see that we have some here. If you guys would like a question answered for sure before I let you carry on with your Saturday, leave a super chat below. Like I said, all the super chats, they support me in my endeavors, reporting everything I do. My son, it supports him as well. If you guys would like a question answered for sure, leave a super chat below. I will get to it. I will not neglect it, and I will take a couple questions that are not super chat, but I won't get to all of them. But if you want your question answered for sure, hey, I actually kind of like that. Invalidcookie.com, Kid Piccolo. Your son really? Yeah, this is my son right here. This is him. Right here. Kid Piccolo, I like that. I'm a huge fan of Dragon Ball Z. I've never seen someone call Baby Yoda Kid Piccolo. That's awesome. All right, if you guys would like to leave a super chat below, I will get to your questions. And yes, punching any woman in the face is unacceptable. I just point out the fact that it's a Hispanic woman because it was. But these people claim to be defenders of minorities and women. That's why they have the Women's March. And it's like, no, you guys are the same ones that punch Hispanic women in the face. I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. Anyways, leave a super chat below. I will be getting to them right now. Let me open up your super chats. Thank you guys for the love. Everything, all the proceeds go directly to supporting me and my son and my endeavors for reporting. Obviously, I'm extremely deboosted here on YouTube. I have close to 50,000 subscribers. Anytime I try and monetize, my views just plummet. Obviously, I should have more views than I should, but we live in an era of digital censorship. So, I mean, by God's grace, the only kind of revenue I can kind of pull in through this channel right now is through super chats. So that's why I do super chats. Thank you guys for the support. Let me open this up real quick as I let you guys carry on with your Saturday. We have a few super chats right here. Let me pull it up. Supers. Alrighty, here we go. We got one right here. Venezuelan capitalist. The reason why they think people of color are being slaughtered despite available data is because the left targets people who are mentally unstable. Yes. And feeds their mass paranoia. Yes. Very true. They prey on people who are unwell. Let me read that one more time from Venezuelan capitalist. I love what you said here. The reason why they think people of color are being slaughtered, that's the left, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, Democrats. The reason why they think people of color are being slaughtered despite available data, which is the facts, is because the left targets people who are mentally unstable, true, and feeds their mass paranoia, true. They prey on people who are unwell. This is 100% true. 100% true. The left literally targets people that are mentally ill that are low information, that are not educated, low information type voters, people that don't think clearly. They target these people because they know people that are mentally ill. And this is not a disrespect to people that are mentally ill. Obviously, if you have a mental disability or there's something wrong with you, you're going to have a harder time discerning truth. You're going to have a harder time picking apart information. It's harder for you. This is why it's called a disability. The left and propagandists and totalitarians and authoritarians, they take advantage of these people because they're easily manipulated. You see this especially, when people are like caretakers of, like mentally ill people, or they're caretakers of mentally handicapped people. They especially the elderly, they're always taken advantage of. They take advantage of these people because they're easily to take advantage of. I've seen this in Portland as well. A lot of dangerously mentally ill people, and you could hear it, you can see it. They're not very coherent. Antifa will give them an order. They'll say, cops are coming to kill us. And mentally ill people, they're like, they're coming to kill us. They're coming to kill us. They have weapons on. They have knives. In some cases, they have guns. It's very dangerous. But Venezuelan capitalist is very, very right and spot on. They prey on the mentally ill because the mentally ill are easily to manipulate and lie to because they don't think things through. It's very sad when you really think about it. It's devastating. It's a travesty. It's ridiculous. But this is what they do. They take advantage of the weak. The weak-minded, the Bible would call them simple-minded. People that can't really think clearly. And this is why they depend on others to think for them. This is why I always push people, think for yourself, think for yourself, think for yourself, think for yourself. Alrighty, guys, if you guys have any more super chats, leave one below and I will get to it for sure. Before I head out, yes, facts over feelings, Alicia A. Totally agree with that. Invalidcookie.com again, or drug addicted. Yeah, anyone who's weak-minded, low info, that is easy to manipulate. The simple-minded. Someone that you could just feed poison and lies to. That'll just believe it. In my opinion, that's abuse. Absolute abuse. Sophie Music, loved this stream, and everyone on the comments. You're all awesome. I love this community, guys. I really do love you guys. Thank you guys so much for the super chats today. I know it's a Saturday, and everyone wants to get on with their day, but this is how things are going to roll from now on. When I'm out reporting, whatever day of the week it is, if I'm reporting during the week, if I'm reporting on the weekend, this is why I tell you guys, follow me on Twitter, Lives Matter Show. That's where all the real-time clips go straight to. So if you guys see me reporting like last night, right? Always know that the following morning, if I'm not arrested for reporting, or if I'm not killed or hurt or in the hospital, I will be doing these reports. These are briefings. You guys will be getting it first here on this YouTube channel for now. You guys will be the first to get it directly the morning after. So this is exclusive to the Real News Gang. You guys hear it directly from me first. So always know, make sure to turn on notifications, sub to the channel if you're not. Make sure to like this video, leave a comment below, let YouTube know that you loved this video. Thank you guys for the support. And like always, you guys can support me through Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Patreon. Those links are in the description below. So I really thank you guys for all the support. I thank you guys for all the love and the super chats, especially throughout the week. Like I said, I will always get to the super chat questions exclusively. And if I do get to the questions later, I will. But the super chats will always get answered for sure. So thank you guys for the support. And I hope that you guys have an amazing weekend, man. Be safe out there, especially if you're going to like a Trump rally gathering somewhere in your city. Be on the lookout, be safe, be responsible, stay free. And like in America, you know what? We got about a week, less than 2 weeks, about a week to the election. It's right around the corner. Right around the corner. So get engaged. People's minds could still be changed. And don't be afraid. And like always, America, make sure to sub to the channel, like this video. I love you, America. And until Monday, I'll see you Monday night on the podcast, 7 p.m., same time, PT, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And until next time, America, stay free.